Wednesday. Bad day. Why? Because I went there in my brain and remembered. And I feel ashamed of myself, even though I don't have anything to be ashamed of, because the child does not have the ability to agree to being sexually assaulted. You know? But sometimes our society puts those scarlet letters on you when you're so young, and you forget that you were a child and that you don't deserve the letters. And yet when people that I went to school with found out, this one girl said, "Oh, now it makes sense why I was, in their eyes, such a slut." And, you know, how could I do this to so-and-so because he was so sweet to you? What happened to your relationship? How come you guys didn't stay together? Like, I can't believe it that you would leave him. He was so kind. Like, oh my God, seriously? It's like, I hope that they don't see this because they're so very low people still. I grew up in the Bay Area. My mother wanted to make sure that we got the best education from the little town that we lived in. So we were on the wrong side of the tracks, and it was after my mother left her second husband and moved on to the third one, who was still married to a woman and had a child that was around the same age as me. That's the second monster who drilled holes in the bathroom doors so that he watched me and my sister get naked and take baths. I'm sure that the holes were in other places too. I just found the ones in the bathroom doors, and I would plug them up with toothpaste, and then he would unplug them. So I learned how to get in and out of a tub with a towel on to minimize the peakage. And sometimes I would spray, because I knew he was there by hearing his heavy breathing, spray perfume through the holes, and then listen to him run down the hall and into the other bathroom and turn the water on to wash his eyes out. Not a word was said. I should have said something, but I never did. He knew I knew. And I think to some extent that probably was a turn on for him. So yeah, the shit I've been through. I'll write a book. But then, you know, I had a psychiatrist. I have to have I have to go through a pain psych evaluation. So they're going to put a little stimulator on my back so I don't have to take so much medication from a bad back surgery, from a bad back injury, from working on a line in the auto industry and doing things that a 95, 5'4" and a half little woman should not do. And because I was ornery and pissed off still at the world, I put myself in those positions to do the job just so I could say, no, I can do it. I could do anything a man can do, and I could do it better. Well, I couldn't, and I shouldn't. But because of all the crap that was in my brain, I had to make a stand for every woman. According to my psychiatrist, I should be a lesbian. And some of them even said, it's amazing that I hadn't killed myself yet. changed psychs after that one. I've been on every medication known to mankind from everything they came up with in the 80s. I stopped taking a lot of that crap in the 2000s, the 21st century, because I learned that if I eat healthy, stay away from preservatives and all the other stuff that causes my headaches and all that, then I can get through most of it. Because believe it or not, our brain can control just about everything unless you have it all fogged up with bad preservatives, MSGs, and all kinds of unnecessary fillers that they put into our pastas, our cheeses, our milks, everything. So once I was tested for allergies to foods and stopped the cheeses and milk, switched to coconut, and stopped the gluten, switched to gluten-free, and stopped all of the preservatives, and stopped all the high fructose corn syrups and the unnecessary sugars, and switched over, I felt entirely better. But do I still mess up? You bet I do. I eat candy because it makes me feel good, because it releases endorphins and serotonins into your brain. It's just like when I'm with my grandson. He's such a joy to be with, and he gives me so much happiness that I hardly feel my back pain because of it. You know, your body is amazing. It could do so many amazing things. And your brain is the most amazing organ in your body. It can control every single day. It controls your crying, your smiling, your happiness, everything. And if you treat your brain with love and feed it well, then you can live a good life without all of those chemicals that they want to put into us. I'm not saying that some people cannot be active or proactive in life without certain chemicals, because I don't know them. I don't know what's going on in their brain. And I know that some people have, are chemically reduced in the brain. Their brains don't release enough serotonin or endorphins or, these kind of things. So yes, there are people who are chemically imbalanced, and those imbalances can only be balanced by medications. And I think to some extent, some foods too, But the world is a horrible place. And if you're unlucky, you get, a crash course in how mean and horrible it is before you become an adult and have to face it. Good Lord, I hate it. I hate when I sit here and think about things. I mean, I'm doing 1,000 things today. I'm doing all of the bedding for the buddies, the babies. See, they're sleeping now, because I had to take off all of their little beds, wash them, and then put them back in. All of their blankies that they carry from room to room, everything. Because my mother's coming next week. And I know, don't even get me started about that, But I do love my mom. She's my mom. I went through a whole year of counseling to either forgive her and accept her for her wrongs, or to cut her off entirely. Now, I have cut her off a great deal, and it bothers her, and it does bother me to an extent, because I have been her codependent for many years. Being the oldest sibling, I've had to do a lot more than my other two siblings did, and my little sister isn't here anymore. But yeah, for us to even get along. Sometimes we did it. And I understand, because the person that told them to get up, to go to school, to do their homework, to eat, to clean up their messes, and all that other stuff was me, not my mom or their father. So, yeah, they had issues with me, and rightly so, because they saw me as their mother. So who wouldn't? I mean, my daughter lives in Las Vegas because she doesn't want to be very close to me, because we have issues. So to say that you don't have some issues with your parent just means that you're totally not even, telling the truth. Because I think every single person that I've ever met has issues with parents. Some are just normal issues, and good to them, I mean, I wish I had normal issues. I wish my issues were normal, but they're not. So, yeah. Did I hate my mom? You bet I did. Do I sometimes hate her? If I'm being honest, which I told you I always would be, yes. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do hate her for not being a strong enough woman to put her foot down and say no, because she saw things and she just pretended like she didn't see them and walked away. So yeah, I know she knew that he was doing things, both of them, because I actually told on the second one, and then she, I think I've said this in other videos, told me that I was just jealous of her because she had a man and couldn't stand to see her happy. And that's why I was telling her these things about him, so that I would be ruining her relationship and I would have her all to myself. What child wants their mother all to themselves? I was in my 20s when I told her, and I didn't need my mother. Hello, I had my own apartment, Mom. Lunatic. Yeah, I wanted her all to myself, not. But, the worst part about this, my mother had 4 marriages. All of her husbands are dead except for the second one, the biggest monster, the monster that ruined my life from the age of 5 to 12. That monster's still alive. And then I hope that he's suffering. And I know that's an awful thing to say, because I'm supposed to forgive, in God's kingdom, you forgive those who trespass against you. I don't think I can forgive that trespass. I'm not a big enough person yet, maybe. Maybe I need some more personal growth. Or I can't say that on YouTube. So anyway, I thought I'd come here and vent this out, get it out of my head and onto this, because I needed to, obviously. Not crying now. No. So triggering thing is gone. I've dealt with it. I'm not triggered any longer. I want to thank you guys for being there. Yeah, pals. Thank you. Peace out. I got a couple more subscribers, so hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Wednesday, the 22nd. It's payday. So tomorrow, I'm going into town. Yes, I am. Town. I'll see you later, guys. Thanks for being there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Ciao, ciao.